I figured out that I have been duped and lied to, and I was in a cult for 10 years, and I want to let people know if they are leaving the cult that yes, I want to validate them in what I have found so that they can get to freedom faster than I did because it was a huge mind fuck, and I want to help speed that up for people. Maybe I come across egotistical, and maybe that is egotistical, but anything about me personal is nothing to do with whether or not AA is harmful. We are deconstructing AA ideology. Hello and welcome to the Sobriety Bestie podcast. My name is Kirsten, and I'm super excited you are here today for another Culty Comments up in the woods today, where we are going to unpack a comment that is a bit culty, and just a reminder that this is always about the ideology that the commenter is speaking through and not about the individual commenter themselves. I certainly was possessed by AA ideology, so this is just unpacking what it looks like to be speaking through the ideology. This culty commenter writes, "This channel is alcoholic thinking and behaving at its finest. Even if it were half true, it would be a waste of time to listen to because the tone is so egotistical. Guarantee that it hurts more people than helps. That's the bottom line." Will someone please tell me where we're getting this alcoholic thinking and alcoholic behaving from that would have anything to do with YouTube? The only way that I can see that my channel has anything to do with alcoholic thinking and alcoholic behavior, first of all, I don't even use the word alcoholic, would be if I was literally drinking in the videos on my channel, because alcoholic, which I call alcohol use disorder, I think it's more descriptive because when they describe the alcohol use disorder inside the DSM-5, they're literally talking about the pattern and the behavior in regards to drinking alcohol. So alcoholic thinking is not a thing. Alcoholic behavior outside of actually drinking is not a thing. These are all extra things that we have put on top of them, which is why I don't feel that the word alcoholic or alcoholism are helpful, because as a society, we have packed so much onto that. And a lot of that has to do with the huge disease awareness campaign, aka the propaganda that Marty Mann, AA number 5, spread through America in the 1940s, getting the concept, selling America on the concept, Bill's idea of the disease model, which came from Dr. Silkworth, because Bill wanted to sell God as a solution to alcoholism. But nobody was buying. The first 6 months that he was selling, nobody was buying. Nobody wanted to listen to Bill. But Bill was convinced after his belladonna-induced white light God experience, while he was being proselytized by Ebby and other friends from the Oxford group while he was institutionalized, trying to in rehab, getting sober at the town's hospital. So Bill has this God experience, is convinced that God's a solution to his alcoholism problem. And so he wants to go and convince other people to get God. It's not working. Dr. Silkworth says, tell them that it's fatal, and it's a fatal progressive disease. They're going to die, and it's a disease. If you tell them they have a disease and you tell them they're going to die, then they will listen to you about this God pitch that you're doing. Do not proselytize your religion, the Oxford group, because that's what Bill was in. He was in the Oxford group cult religion. He was proselytizing for the Oxford group for the first 2.5 years of his sobriety. There was no AA. Him and Dr. Bob were inside the Oxford group. And so he's trying to recruit people into the Oxford group. And Dr. Silkworth says, tell them it is fatal. They are going to die, and it is a disease. Then they will listen to you. So when we talk about alcoholism and alcoholic, we're putting so many different ideas and assumptions, and Bill's ideas, quite frankly, because he was a great salesman, a great mass marketer, along with his crew, to get his ideas into society. But that doesn't mean that they're true or they're reality or they're verified or validated in modern medical science. He says, even if it's half true what I'm saying, tell me what's not true. Tell me what is totally 100% not true. Drop it in the comments. Tell me what's not true. I'm not here to say that I know best at all. I am here to critically think with all y'all, and a lot of the comments are waking me up to things that I didn't realize before. So I'm super grateful for this deconstruction, awakening, liberation journey I'm having with you guys, and I've been having for almost 6 months now, since I started dissenting in April. So if it were half true, it would be a waste of time to listen because the tone is so egotistical. Okay, maybe I'm egotistical. I don't know. I feel like I figured out that I have been duped and lied to, and I was in a cult for 10 years, and I want to let people know if they are leaving the cult that yes, I want to validate them in what I have found so that they can get to freedom faster than I did because it was a huge mind fuck, and I want to help speed that up for people. Maybe I come across egotistical, and maybe that is egotistical, but anything about me personal is nothing to do with whether or not AA is harmful. We are deconstructing AA ideology. What in AA is not true? What are we currently believing that is harmful for our own mentality? Are we believing that we have to outsource our life to a higher power? We're praying for guidance instead of making decisions. We're not trusting ourselves. We're not thinking critically. We are waking up to living outside of the cult religion. So whether or not I am egotistical, whether or not I am anything, has nothing to do with whether or not AA is a valid path to recovery or what deconstructing AA looks like, which is really what we're talking about. But it's interesting that a lot of the culty commenters, a lot of people inside the ideology will make it about me personally or the dissenter personally. They make it about the messenger to distract from actually talking about the message. Let's talk about the message. How is it valid? How is AA valid in your mind? Give me the studies, show me the proof, show me the evidence. I am always learning how I've been wrong and improving and updating my thinking. I am not currently correct, but right now I'm saying what I see as the truth right now. 6 months from now, I might have a varying opinion on different things. That's why it's not about what I say, it's about what you think. This is about critical thinking. I'm waking up just as much from the comments as you might be from the comments as well. There's a lot of interesting conversations that happen in the comments. Quite frankly, I find them more interesting than the conversation I might be having right here. So there's a lot of us that are thinking outside of the ideology and getting free. Guaranteed that this hurts more people than it helps. How? Where's your evidence? How can you guarantee that? What a bullshit sentence that is. How are you guaranteeing it hurts more people than it helps? Should we talk about how AA hurts people? Because that's what I'm talking about, but you're just saying that I'm egotistical instead of talking about how you think it doesn't hurt people. Why don't you tell me logically and rationally how the points I'm making about the harms of AA aren't actually harms or aren't actually happening? So you guarantee that this, my channel, is hurting more people than it helps. You don't think it's helping anybody, though, I would imagine, because you think it's alcoholic thinking and behaving at its finest from an egotistical person, and it's a waste of time to listen to. So you don't really think that this channel is helping anybody. So your guarantee actually means nothing. Show me why you think that. Give me the links to the books, to the research, to the evidence that supports your conclusion, or tell me why you think what you think. I mean, it's just so uninteresting when people just come and like shit on the comments. And I think they think they're making a point, but there's no point here. Guaranteed that this hurts more people than it helps. That's the bottom line. I see no bottom line because you have made no valid points. You have just insulted me with made-up terms like alcoholic thinking and behaving. Yeah. So, like, nothing was said here that's interesting. There's literally nothing here. And there's so many comments that are like this. People don't like what they're hearing because they're probably inside the ideology, or maybe they know somebody else that they feel like AA helped. So it feels like a threat. So they attack the messenger instead of deconstruct the message. Show me why you think what you think. Tell me what you think. Just telling me that I'm wrong for whatever reasons, it isn't helpful. It honestly, it just feels like childish, like lacking intellect. I know that these people actually have stronger opinions. So this is not a diss on the individual. I think it's something that happens when we're talking about cults and thinking about dissenters. It's so much easier to put the spotlight on the dissenter personally than to actually look at the ideology and try to think critically about it and wonder what the fuck wonder what we're thinking, and does it even actually make sense? We get so protective over our own beliefs when we feel like the program saved our life or saved our friend's life or it's common and it's everywhere without actually thinking about what's happening inside the ideology. what came up for you in this comment. I'm just one individual. I have nothing to do with AA ideology other than I have opinions on it, or I've done research that debunks it, and I'm here to help people deconstruct it. But talking about me isn't interesting. I'm just one chick. I'm just a random chick in the woods. What's interesting is looking at what we might be believing that is not true, that might be harming us or limiting us in our lives. Team freedom up in here. Let's get free. Let's see how we're believing things that might be not true, misinformation, misdiagnoses, lies, unverified claims from 100 years ago, and break it apart, deconstruct it, and see what we choose to believe today based upon critical thinking. To me, that's way more exciting. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you would like to deconstruct in community, I have a free group called the Deprogram Lounge. You are invited to come hang out in the lounge. It is an app. There's a conversation going in there that's lots of fun. You can meet some other deprogramming people. We have a monthly Deprogram book club, and we have Deprogram Zooms. So it is a whole vibe, and it is all for free. Let's get free, people. So I hope to see you either in the lounge if you're feeling it, or in the comments below if you want to unpack some of your thoughts on this video or on deconstructing AA in general. Let's keep getting free.